Hello everybody and welcome to the Sibelius Academy's yearly admissions chat. My name is Kaisa Johansson and I'm the executive advisor here at the Sibelius Academy. Our chat today is in three parts. First, we'll hear from our Dean Emilie Gardberg. In the second part, we will talk to two of our students, Lucy and Maxim, about their experiences here at the Academy. And in the last part, we dive into more specific admissions questions with our admissions officer, Antti Lehtinen. But without further ado, welcome Emilie.
Hello everyone. I'm Emilie Gardberg and I started as the Dean of the Sibelius Academy in January this year, in the midst of the pandemic. I want to warmly welcome you to Helsinki and to the north. And today we actually had our first snowfall. So it's starting to feel a little bit like Christmas, which is a good thing in Finland. Sibelius Academy was founded in 1882. And today we are a community of approximately 1,500 students, when we also include the exchange students. We have 500 teachers and about 100 members of administrational staff. We offer the highest level of education in a diverse, engaging and supportive community in the center of vibrant Helsinki. The Sibelius Academy is ranked within the top 10 performing arts schools in the world. Our international community welcomes students and researchers from more than 60 countries, and our faculty stems from all over the globe. Our core mission is to foster empowered, critical, and artistically powerful professionals. I want to talk to you a little bit about how studies at the Sibelius Academy look like for a student. Our individual study plan brings freedom and flexibility. We are committing to supporting every student in forming an individual artistic identity and a unique voice. We celebrate and embrace diversity and inclusion, and we want all of our students to be able to express themselves freely. At the Sibelius Academy, you will have the freedom to tailor your own schedule with an individual study plan that helps you plan and focus your studies. Students can choose to focus on a more specialized area or build their studies according to wider interests. Staff tutors and other advisors are here to help you draw up your balanced plan for study. And while there are some compulsory requirements for a degree, the studies at the Sibelius Academy have considerable freedom in choosing the options that best suit them in learning the things that they need for their professional lives. Students can also attend courses arranged in degree programs outside their own, and they can also study at the Fine Arts Academy and at the Theatre and Dance Academy that are part of the UniArts Helsinki. I'm coming to you live from our campus in Helsinki. We are housed in a fantastic, quite newly built building in the midst, really in the heart of the city. And next to our so-called M building, we also have the R building, which is more historical with a very beautiful hall, and the N building, which is a big and vibrant part of our campus. The large building that I'm standing in right now also houses the Radio Symphony Orchestra and the Helsinki Philharmonic. So we are part of a really vivid and large artistic community. And we also have a second campus in Sörnäinen, where we have the Fine Arts Academy and the Theatre Academy. These are all possible and great venues for you to be studying in. One of the core things in our work is performing for live audiences. Our students perform in more than 700 public concerts annually, including their individual recitals at the Music Center. Constant live practice and collaboration with world-class artists and professional organizations equip our students to thrive in a wide range of musical and cultural contexts. Then let's talk a little bit about finances. We believe wealth shouldn't be in the way of talented young musicians getting a world-class education. EU and EEA students do not pay tuition fees. Non-EU and non-EEA student degrees are required to pay an annual tuition fee, but this is 5,000 euros and it can be waived by a scholarship. We welcome, appreciate and respect everyone for who they are. And UniArts has a zero tolerance policy against inappropriate treatment, harassment and discrimination. In Finland, we hope we can consider everyone equal. Finland might seem really remote, but it's not as remote as you might think. Finland is the place where the East meets West. We're perfectly situated for travel from many parts of the globe. Finland is considered clean, safe and peaceful. Within most of Europe, just a short flight away. Sometimes we hear students talk about our academy as if we would be notorious for our low acceptance rates. But that is not entirely true. While the acceptance rate varies between different degree programs, the average acceptance rate is 13%. In 2021, the Academy accepted 192 new students out of the 1,500 or slightly more applications. Many have also wondered whether they would have what it takes to get in. We feel there is no need to be perfect when you apply, because if you are already perfect in what you do, why would you ever need to study with us? But we want you to be willing to work hard on your skills, to learn from others, and to be open-minded. We are looking for students with potential and the ability to develop. Also, many students wonder about how the working life is like in Finland. Compared to many other countries, Finland has surprisingly many job opportunities for international students after graduation. Our students usually find jobs quite easily, and many of the international students choose to apply for jobs in Finland. Our orchestra communities are very international, and the most commonly used working language is usually English. Arts are also still relatively well funded in Finland, and different foundations support art and artists with scholarships and grants. Sibelius Academy is an internationally active school, and international cooperation is part of our everyday activities. International cooperation can be done on all levels at the Academy, within the degree program, department, and on the academy level. We initiate, coordinate, and participate in innovative educational development projects that have a pedagogical approach and focus on students and learning. Most students will participate in one or several international projects during their studies. These projects include everything from masterclasses to orchestra, big orchestra, international orchestra projects, opera collaborations, and so on. Through our broad network and high-quality partnerships, we provide meaningful opportunities for both student and staff to become more international. An international exchange period is also available for all students, and all teachers are also encouraged to participate in teacher exchange. Our learning environment is international through our diverse student body, as well as the visitor program, masterclasses, and intensive courses. All of these have, of course, been slightly altered during the COVID years, but in Finland, we are now fully back to present teaching, and we try to use the newly found resources for online teaching in the ways that are best suited. And of course, it also helps us to become more international. Also, traveling to Finland is possible from most countries if you have your COVID certificate. So I hope you will consider us when thinking of where to go for your studies. On my behalf, I want to wish you warmly welcome to apply to the Sibelius Academy in Helsinki. Thank you.
I'm Leila Martin. My main instrument is percussion.
From that beat.
Percussion is not a legato instrument in itself. What makes it different is that it's heated instrument. you can't somehow prolong the note. It's there and right there and only there. It's so simple in its nature, and that's somehow also what makes its beauty, because with a really simple thing, like, you can dig into it so much. I think it's a privilege to study in Sibelius Academy because there is a lot of facilities there, a lot of nice people and nice teachers, a lot of possibilities. Academy that gives a lot of freedom to the students. And also that we have so many good instruments. This is something quite rare. When I play music, I try to tell myself some kind of story, to have some kind of images or something. I think it helps and inspires to phrase or do music. When you play with others, everybody has his own musical image somehow, but it's still possible that through all those different images, a connection happens and then music is made together. I really see that Sibelius Academy helped me found my own path, because my teachers are not focusing only on technique, but also on musicality, and they don't want everybody to become the same, but they want everybody to find their own way. Music is a safe place for me. Most of the time it's kind of a jump into the water and then you don't know how you are gonna land and what is gonna happen, and I like this kind of ephemeral thing also about music, and the thing that it's always changing. In the reality, everything is changing and we are also changing all the time, but it's hard to see. But maybe with music it's easier to see it.
Hello everyone and welcome to the second part of our admissions chat. My name is Antti Lehtinen and I'm from the Sibelius Academy admissions office, and I'm here with two of our students. So maybe you could introduce yourselves. Maybe you, Lucy, first.
Sure. Hi, my name is Lucy. I am a clarinetist and I am from the US, and I've been a member of the Sibelius Academy community since 2013.
Hi everyone, I'm a saxophone student from Russia. My name is Maxim, and I've been studying here for 2 years already for my bachelor.
And you study jazz, is this
Yes,
correct?
department, yeah, saxophone.
Yes. Hi, my name is Hesu. I'm from South Korea. I'm a master's student in clarinet performance, and this is my second year.
Hello, I'm Ahura. I'm originally Kurdish of Iran and Turkish, and I'm doing my final year of master degree in global music program. I'm a percussionist and music producer.
Okay, so maybe we'll start with the first actual question, and that is, why did you decide to apply to the Sibelius Academy in the first place?
I applied to the Sibelius Academy after spending actually 1 year in Sweden on a grant, and I came to study with a particular clarinet teacher.
Okay.
Yeah, in my case, it was so that I've been studying here for the youth department for 4 years before, and then it was kind of natural that I would continue studying here for my degree studies as well.
Okay, good. To the first question, why did you decide to apply to the Sibelius Academy in the first place? Maybe Hesu, you can begin.
Okay, so when I was applying, I thought that Finland has a lot of advantages to study music. There are great orchestras, great professors and study programs, of course. And so I believe that studying here is an excellent opportunity to improve myself and to achieve my goals. And it actually is, so I'm very happy I'm here. And also clarinet teachers here are amazing. I'm learning a lot these days, so I'm very satisfied with them. And also maybe it's a great merit for me to be able to take courses in English, of course, yeah.
For me, I have one personal reason and one general reason. Maybe I start with the general one, that Well, you know that studying in music in an academic level in higher degree is relatively a new thing. And Sibelius Academy is one of the best and one of the schools in the world amongst the few that has this level of music education, music degree. And of course, the global music program also is a new thing. And Sibelius Academy is one of the very few schools that have this program. So then I said, okay, a school which is great amongst the top schools has the program that I need, and it is in English. So definitely I will try to get into that school. And the personal reason is that, well, two of my uncles have been studying in the same degree. So it's kind of a family business for me to continue their mark.
Okay, that's nice to hear. And so the next question, what is it like to study at the Sibelius Academy, and can you describe your typical day? And maybe you, Hara, can begin now.
My typical day, let's compare, give one example from now and one example from when I started. Because now when you are during your final year of studies, then you have a lot more freedom. So basically you can decide about your typical day. So my typical day is based on my individual schedule. So for example, I get up at the moment I'm working in a school, and then after that I rehearse, and then usually I come to the Music Italo, Helsinki Music Center, which has a lot of rehearsal spaces to do my rehearsals, and then in the music cafe I will eat. But if I give an example from my first years, no, the schedule was completely different, because when you are starting in Sibelius Academy, there are a lot of projects and a lot of things planned for you. So I was really busy exploring different things, exploring Helsinki, exploring Finland, getting to know the Finnish culture. So I would say it's a different story what I'm doing now than when I started. But maybe you can give also other examples of your typical day.
Well, I usually come to the academy in the morning and practice or warm up a little bit in the class, then drink some coffee, and then if I have a course, I go to the class and then take a course and have lunch after the course, maybe at Uni Cafe and meet up some friends. And then if I have a rehearsal, I come to the M. Usually we take rehearsals or lessons in the M. So, and then I like to go home if I don't have anything in the evening and cook something. But even when I don't have any rehearsals or lessons in the academy, I'd like to come here and just do some assignments or like writing essays around the cafeteria or even in the library, because it has very good vibe here. It's very wide space. So yeah, I think that's very typical day of mine.
Then the next question, it's about the admissions process. Can you describe how was your admissions process, and for you, Lucy, to the master's program? And if you have any tips for prospective students, you are free to tell them. And maybe you, Lucy, can begin.
Yeah, so as I mentioned, I came here to study with the intention of studying with a particular teacher. But what's quite different about the admissions process here is that it's a very level playing field for everybody. So when you play your audition for a jury, I had a previous connection with a teacher, and he actually wasn't allowed to be in my jury for my admission, because that would have given me perhaps an unfair connection or advantage. So it's I think in many places it's quite encouraged that you need to have a connection with the teacher, or you need to have taken many lessons with a teacher. And here at Sibelius Academy, that's not true. Everyone kind of comes in on a very equal playing field. Everyone has to take an audition for the same jury. And it's nerve-wracking, as auditions always are, but they're extremely well run, with plenty of time to warm up, facilities to warm up. There's no rush. They really try and make you as comfortable as possible so that you can play your best, I would say.
Should I begin?
Yeah.
Okay, so I did my entrance exam around 5 years ago in in the summer of 2016. Well, it's only natural to be totally nervous, and I was beating myself down that I will not succeed, I will not get into the school. But then my friends, my families, they were pushing me. I'm not so privileged, so if it wasn't for the support of those around me, I wouldn't actually try to even get into the school. But I applied, I came to Finland with all the difficulties that I've had. But when I was fully stressed before the entrance exam. I was shaking, my voice was, I had to sing, but my voice was breaking. But when I got into the room, and actually the jury who were judging me were there, and I started to talk with them, immediately I felt this sense of being calm. Maybe it's because of global music program that we are such a community-based and nice program. Well, I'm sure other programs are too, but we are exceptions. So I immediately felt, okay, I'm more calm. The process went fairly smooth, and I didn't have any difficulties during the process. And well, I was waiting outside because there is at that time there was 2 levels of the entrance exam. I was waiting to hear the results of the first one outside of the school, and actually I heard it from one of the teachers before the actual checking the actual internet, because well, I didn't have access to it at that time. So for me, the process was an adventure that I will not forget about it, but it wasn't difficult. And just if I can add a comment, if you are thinking that you are not good enough, the same thoughts that I had with myself, don't think about it, because there are some criteria for getting into the Sibelius Academy that you are not aware of. I wasn't aware of them, but the teachers are aware. So you think you don't have them, but you actually do. So if you are hesitating, don't apply.
Yeah, that's a good tip.
Mm-hmm.
Like you cannot tell beforehand if you're at the level expected. Just come into the entrance examinations and see for yourself. How about you?
Well, in my case, I did the online application. And luckily I didn't have any problem with it, because they have a good system, so I could follow them very easily. So I would just say be aware of the deadlines and try to maybe finish it slightly before the deadline, so that you can be sure. And also with the video, maybe performance video recording, just like he said, be confident and believe in yourself, and then you'll be great. And all the needed documents should be ready beforehand. So I think that should be enough.
So let's move forward to the next question, and it's about moving to Finland. What was it like to move Finland in the first place? How about you, Hesu?
Well, I was first very excited to move to Finland, but also a bit nervous because it's a totally new country and new environment. And I didn't know anyone here, so I was a bit nervous. But then luckily, most of the people here were very fluent in English, so I could communicate with them very well, and I could ask if I don't know something. So that was a good thing. And also the academy was very supportive. The coordinator here and the student tutors were helping me a lot. So I would say I didn't have any problem adapting myself to the new environments. And I'm, very happy living here.
Okay.
For me, because I'm coming from a totally different culture, I was coming to the Europe for the first time, and I wasn't older than 18 years old. I was around 18, so I was still a teenager in my own brain. So when I moved to Finland, I was really excited to explore a different culture. Of course, when you're exposing yourself, when you're coming to a new culture, there are things that you have to consider, and there are things that you have to adapt. So when I first started, for me, nothing was really complicated. As my friend here said, and I want to emphasize that many people in Finland, they do speak English, and in the Nordic countries, all of them. Compared to other countries, I would say most of the people here, they do speak English. So it was really helpful. Of course, I like to learn the language, so I try to learn it day by day and became better at the language. There are some cultural differences, definitely, with any country. It's even if you move from Finland to Sweden, which they are neighbor countries, there are going to be some cultural differences, let alone from coming from another country which is really far away to Finland. So I was facing some differences, but nothing too complicated that I couldn't adapt myself to.
I'd like to ask you, what are the best things about Helsinki? And maybe you, Lucy, can continue.
The best things. Oh, there's so many.
Choose one or two.
There's food. There's fantastic food, restaurants, cafes, places to be, places to hang out. There's also a lot of lovely outdoor space to take a walk, even around the music center where we are right now. You can look outside the window and there's beautiful places to go outside, get fresh air, take a walk. The city is super, super easy to navigate, and I think that makes it a fantastic place to live.
Yeah, for me also the surrounding issue is really important. So in Helsinki you may find plenty of parks or even forests, and I guess it's the only academy in the world where you can find some rabbits running across the Sibelius Academy, almost in the very city center. And also it's really clean here on the streets, and people are quite friendly, and lots of historical sites, lots of beautiful islands, so the nature, the architecture, lots of things to discover.
Okay.
I can give you one example. If you are a Parisian, please don't hate me. I went to Paris and all the time I had to hold my pocket so nobody can steal things from me. But in Finland, I actually can leave my stuff on the table in a restaurant. That Uni Cafe, which is a student restaurant, has around 200 people eating, usually, when I'm there. And I went to the toilet 10 minutes after, nothing was touched. And this is the best thing, in my opinion, about Helsinki and Finland, that you can really trust people. Of course, there are always good and bad everywhere. Even in Paris, I could trust people. In Finland, sometimes you should not trust. But generally speaking, this is the best thing for me, that you really can trust people.
I totally agree with him, and I'm going to add some things more. What I like the most about Helsinki is that I can really easily find nature around the city. Even in front of the academy, we have this really beautiful lake park and with swans and dogs, and I really like there. I like to take a walk for a short time, and it's really relaxing and beautiful. And other than that, the public transportation system is really good, even at night. So I think generally I feel very safe and comfortable living here. Although it's like I'm living abroad, but I feel comfortable. So I think that's a really good thing.
Okay, that's nice to hear. And then the next question is about the facilities at the Sibelius Academy. How are they, and are there spaces for practicing?
Yes, of course. There are 3 different buildings full of available rooms, and I can easily book practice room with my phone using the app, and it's the rooms are really in a really good condition, I would say. I've been to different universities in Europe, and it's really good here. And some rooms even have good views, and it's really nice to practice here. I feel lucky to use them. They're really good.
Please correct me if I'm wrong. Do we have 3 buildings or 4?
Sorry?
At the moment. Do we have 3 buildings or 4?
3.
3, okay. So amongst these 3, because before we used to have 4 actually, one of them has been closed down, I think. So amongst these 3, I spend most of my time in Musiikkitalo, or short M-Talo, which is the Helsinki Music Center. I would say this is one of the most advanced buildings I've seen. It has a lot of technology, a lot of rehearsal rooms, and equipments. So in sense of not having enough equipment to do your daily exercises, I would say that's not true. You are able to do it. And yeah, so that's all I can say, that it's very, very well equipped, Sibelius Academy, in the matter of equipment.
Yeah, the three buildings that you mentioned, they are all like within a 5 minutes walk of each other. And maybe one more question on the facilities. You said that they are easy to book with an app. Are they usually available, and are there any time limits? Can you practice whenever you wish to?
So I can, with my experience, I could book it like 2 days before to practice, and then I shouldn't leave the room. If I have the room, I shouldn't leave the room for more than like 15 minutes. Then it's not fair, and I could use for 2 hours with the building here. So I think that's it, or even 4 hours with some rooms, if I'm correct.
Okay.
Yes.
And can you practice at any time of the day?
Let me show you something magical. This key is great thing. You can actually get to the rooms, and if you wish to practice during the nights after 11 o'clock, or I don't know if it's now 10 o'clock, for me it's 11, you get a night code that you can come basically 24/7, apart from the very, very actual times that there is renovations going on or something. But basically you can come 24/7 to practice, to reserve a room. Sometimes there might be some difficulties to book a room if you are not doing it in advance, because there are lots of courses, lots of rehearsals happening during the daytime and especially afternoon time. So personally, at some point I was doing only night rehearsals. I was coming early morning or night.
Okay. And the next question we are having is about work opportunities for students. What sort of work do the students usually do, and are there any paid gig opportunities for students? And maybe you, Lucy, first.
Yeah, as the Dean already mentioned, Finland is extremely culturally rich. As a clarinetist, as an orchestra player, there's a shocking number of orchestras per capita. It's a big reason why I actually came and why I decided to stay. It's different, obviously, as an orchestral musician, if you play a string instrument versus a wind instrument, or a double reed instrument versus a single reed instrument. But I would say that if you would like to find work opportunities, and you work hard and you practice hard, and you integrate yourself into the kind of music community, and get to know people and chat, and also find opportunities for yourself through chamber music and collaborating with other students, I would say that there are some great opportunities to work, yeah.
How about you?
Yeah, as for me, I might not be that experienced as Lucy is because
I've been here a long time.
What sort of work do the students usually do, and are there any paid gig opportunities for students? And maybe you, Lucy, first.
Yeah, as the Dean already mentioned, Finland is extremely culturally rich. As a clarinetist, as an orchestra player, there's a shocking number of orchestras per capita. It's a big reason why I actually came and why I decided to stay. It's different, obviously, as an orchestral musician, if you play a string instrument versus a wind instrument, or a double reed instrument versus a single reed instrument. But I would say that if you would like to find work opportunities, and you work hard and you practice hard, and you integrate yourself into the kind of music community, and get to know people and chat, and also find opportunities for yourself through chamber music and collaborating with other students, I would say that there are some great opportunities to work, yeah.
How about you?
Yeah, as for me, I might not be that experienced as Lucy is, but if taking as an example the juniors mail, where we receive all the mails from the dean and from the other other faculties and whatever, there are lots of possibilities to play, and there are always suggesting some scholarships for any concerts, or suggesting some festival to play on, to play at. So it's basically, I guess, also quite good here, and I'm actually looking forward to playing somewhere soon, hopefully.
I haven't done so much, but I had some gigs, concert gigs and orchestra gigs, and of course, yes, we get paid, and I think it's quite common for students to do those kind of paid gigs. And also, I'm currently playing in this Kapubandi orchestra, which is a conducting class orchestra, and we're playing in the orchestra, and we also get paid there, so that could also call as a gig, I'd say.
At least paid work.
Yeah, paid work, yes. And I think it's quite common around the academy to find that kind of works or jobs.
So your fellow students work as well?
Yes,
okay.
They do.
I would say Sibelius Academy, like any other school, when you're a student here, you have to tolerate some student life thingies about it. For example, I was working as a food delivery guy, I was working as a waiter in the hotels, many things. Now at the moment I'm working in a school, which is actually a good job, but in the beginning, like any other schools, any other countries, you have to do, if you are not privileged, I wasn't, you have to do some work on the side. And when we are talking about the musical performances or gigs, yes, I've had it since the very beginning. I started my school. I was, in this case, I was privileged to have gigs, and at some point I could earn around 1,500 per month only from the gigs that I've had. So it depends, basically it depends how active you are and how you are willing to collaborate with others and networking. It pretty much depends on that. And yeah, basically if I compare Finland to Germany, because I've been in both countries in matters of gigs, I would say Germany has more gigs, more daily gigs, but Finland pays better. So, for example, in Germany, there are some of my friends who have had gigs for 20 euros they get paid. But in Finland, the minimum, according to the work office, is 250 euros. So you get paid around that. So the payment is better.
What is the most useful skill you have learned at the Sibelius Academy? Ahura, maybe you can begin this one.
Yeah, sure. There aren't a single one best skills that I can mention. There are a couple, because I've learned a lot from Sibelius Academy, from global music program. But one thing that I can emphasize maybe is the ability to work with others. You know, when I came to Finland, I was a teenager. I still wasn't so good with working with others, group activities. But here, I learned to accept everyone for who they are and work with them collaboratively. This is a very important word, that, okay, you are working with them, but how to work with them, and this is not only in the school, you can use it in your life. And I use it in my life, and it advanced my goals pretty much. So I can emphasize this one.
Okay, thank you.
Well, of course, I've learned so many important and useful skills that I could apply to my instrument, my clarinet. But other than that, I used to have a lot of pain around my arm and like around my shoulder because I overused them. I practiced for a long time and without any rest. But here I've learned that actually playing the instrument is not the only way, not the only method of practicing. So I could actually practice even without my clarinet. And like this whole idea was quite shocking for me and very useful because I could really relax my body and still practicing, and it helped me a lot. And I also took some Alexander techniques, and I'm also taking the body mapping lessons to get to know more about my body, and they're really useful. So I would say generally I've learned how to take care of my body more and how to keep the balance between practicing and resting and the daily like life without the clarinet also. So I think it's really important, especially in a musician's life, to be able to take care of myself. And I'm very glad that I've earned these skills now.
Yeah, that's important.
Yeah.
For the long term.
Yeah, for the long term, yes.
Maybe it's a bit too hard to point out just one thing. Maybe the skill of communication between people of different backgrounds, and also the skill of switching different languages even quite a bit, and trying to adapt to the new culture, and to play with different people differently, and also maybe to somehow find time for everything you want to do, and not to leave your studies behind.
That's a good one. I would say, for me personally, probably independence, probably musical independence, creative independence, having the skills to really feel like I'm developing myself individually as an artist.
Okay, then it's time for our last question. And maybe you, Lucy, can begin with this question. What has been the best or most memorable thing during your studies?
The first thing that comes to mind probably is an opportunity I had at the end of my master's studies in spring 2016 to perform as a soloist with Sibelius Academy Symphony Orchestra to celebrate, I think it was the 100th, I hope I'm remembering this right. It was the anniversary of the Sibelius Academy Symphony Orchestra, and there was a quite epic concert put on with world-class soloists and a lot of people, and we did Magnus Lindberg's Kraft, which is like a chamber concerto with this massive orchestra, and yeah, that was pretty cool.
Okay, how about you, Maxim?
I guess for me it was also the concert I did along with a famous pianist from the USA, Danny Grisette. In this September, we did an ensemble gig at the jazz club here. But also maybe the workshops that were running here, and again I haven't attended them so much yet, but they're happening quite often, so it's really good.
Okay. At this moment, I'd like to thank you both for your opinions, insights, and memories. Thank you very much. And now we'll move on, and we'll watch a short video first, and then it's time for the last part of this admissions chat. Okay, then it's time for our final question. What has been the best or most memorable thing here during your studies? Aura, maybe you can begin this one.
I have many, so
you can pick only one
go
now.
on and on, but can I give two?
Fast.
Sure. There is this student facility for Sibelius Academy called Kunkula, Kallio Kuninkala, which is this very nice houses that around the lake and with sauna, and then amazing food. So all of my memories are from there. If you get into it, amazing. You are very in a good luck. And second thing is when we went to the Indonesian embassy and we played gamelan music. I'm so sorry if it was an Indonesian embassy and some other embassy, but to my memory, what I can recollect, it was there. We played gamelan music. Amazing memories for me.
Okay, thank you.
Well, it's really hard to choose one. But experience I had here. Like, I could play in many orchestra projects with brilliant conductors, and it's really hard to choose one. But very recently I played in the orchestra. I had this Sibelius Academy Symphony Orchestra project with the great conductor Sakari Oramo. I was in the project, and We had 2 concerts and it was amazing. So I could say that was one of the best memories I had, to be able to play with the brilliant students and a wonderful conductor, and it was really great, and I feel very lucky.
Well, the first thing that comes to mind probably is an opportunity I had at the end of my master's studies in spring 2016 to perform as a soloist with Sibelius Academy Symphony Orchestra to celebrate, I think it was the 100th, I hope I'm remembering this right. It was the anniversary of the Sibelius Academy Symphony Orchestra, and there was a quite epic concert put on with world-class soloists and a lot of people, and we did Magnus Lindberg's Kraft, which is like a chamber concerto with this massive orchestra, and yeah, that was pretty cool.
Okay, how about you, Maxim?
I guess for me it was also the concert I did along with a famous pianist from the USA, Denny Grisette. In this September, we did an ensemble gig at the jazz club here. But also maybe the workshops that were running here, and again I haven't attended them so much yet, but they're happening quite often, so it's really good.
Okay. At this moment, I'd like to thank you both for your opinions, insights, and memories. Thank you very much. And now we'll move on and we'll watch a short video first, and then it's time for the last part of this admissions chat.
The focus area is music composed at the classical time. So the title of the masterclass is Classics Under the Microscope. It is always a memorable moment when you notice that a student opens a new door and you hear it in their playing.
We've been analyzing the score, and I think the teachers, they just don't want to teach what we can see, but what we can feel when we play.
You decide it every single time when you play it, when you want to carry on, when you feel like it's the moment to carry on.
There was like some energy in the teaching that we can then find again when we practice together.
Yes, definitely.
We try to encourage all our students to really dare to feel it and to show how they feel about the music.
After her lessons, I feel always that I want to go and practice more because I'm so inspired.
Hello everyone and welcome back. In this last part of our admissions chat, we can dive into more the admissions realm of this experience, and we can start with the first question. We have compiled some of the most asked questions here, and I'm gonna then ask them from Antti. What is the applications process like for an international applicant, and how do they apply?
Yeah, that's a good question. First of all, the process is the same for each applicant regardless of where they are from. And also you can also only be admitted to the Sibelius Academy with our entrance examination process. And what I would say that what each and everyone should do right now is to read the admissions guides. We have published them yesterday on our web pages, and they should be read really carefully. There are a lot of instructions, but they are all important to know. And the application period is in January, from January 5th until January 19th, and it ends at 3 p.m. And we use an application portal called Study Info, and everyone should send an electronic application over there. And there are some supporting material that should be attached to your application, and all that supporting material can be electronic as well. Then after the application period has ended, the admissions office will check the eligibility of each applicant, meaning that we will control the background education and language skills that the applicant must have. And after the eligibility check has been made, we'll inform each applicant of the result. And then it's time for the actual entrance examinations. Some of our programs have them already in March, but most of our programs have the entrance examinations in May. But those that have the entrance examinations in May, there might be some online stages before that, for example in March or April. And all the results are published at latest on June 3rd. I think I answered this question now.
That's very thorough. Then there's another question from the audience. What is the average age of a student or an applicant, probably, but also a student here?
Oh, this is a difficult one. Well, I'd say that most of our applicants are in the 20s, but I actually don't know the average age.
Yeah, I think we have quite a range of ages,
yeah.
At least here at the Academy.
Yeah, and there is no age limit to apply, so regardless of your age, you're welcome to apply.
Yeah. Okay, then we can actually segue straight into the applying. What materials does one need to deliver when applying, and are there any advanced assignments?
Yeah, I'll answer the question on advanced assignments first. This depends on each program, and each program has its own requirements. So that's one reason to read the admissions guide really carefully. And the advanced assignments, if there are any, and the supporting documents must be submitted. The deadline for them is 1 week after the application period has ended. And we recommend everyone to upload the materials as soon as possible. If you leave it on the last moment, then there's always a danger that something happens, and then it is possible that it cannot be fixed later on. And about the materials that need to be submitted, each applicant has to submit a degree certificate or a diploma of previous education that gives the eligibility to apply. And also a transcript of records is needed that shows the grades the applicant has obtained. And also a certificate of language skills is needed that can be via prior education or a language skills test. And also each applicant must attach a copy of passport to the application. And maybe one more thing about applying. If you haven't graduated yet at the end of the application period, you can still apply. In this case, you must submit the degree certificate before mid-July, and the exact date is in the admissions guide.
Thank you. That was food for thought. Absolutely. So now we'll move on to one of the most frequently asked questions. Do I have to know any Finnish to apply?
No, that's really not needed. We welcome students from all over the world, and besides our music education program, each of our programs is available in English. The music education is the exception, and it's available only in Finnish and Swedish.
Yes, thank you. So next I have a group of questions again, so you can talk a bit more. But when are the entrance examinations held? I think you already kind of touched on that. But then do the applicants need to travel to Finland to audition, and can they attend via remote connection? And also we've also gotten some questions about transferring from other institutions. Is that possible?
Yeah, a lot of good questions again. The entrance examinations are held mostly in May, but as I said, some stages and some programs even completely have their entrance examinations sooner in the spring. So all the information about the dates is or will be in the admissions guide that's the place to find the schedule for the program that you are interested in and their entrance examinations. And the format of the entrance examination varies between different programs. Some programs have the entrance examinations completely here in Helsinki on site at the Sibelius Academy facilities, and some programs have maybe the first stage of the entrance examination online and then the second stage here in Helsinki. And the third possibility for different type of entrance examination is that the entrance examination is conducted completely online. And that is also mentioned in the admissions guide. And then the question that we got about transferring to the Sibelius Academy, I touched this already in my first answer, I guess, that we admit new students only through our entrance examination process, and then everyone must go through that. So unfortunately, you cannot just transfer to us.
Thank you, Antti. So the next question I have here is something many applicants have been very interested in. Is it possible to apply to more than one program, and is it possible to take a double major at the Sibelius Academy?
Yes, each applicant can apply up to 6 different programs at the Sibelius Academy. But however, you can accept only one new study place each year, but you can be offered multiple places. So if you apply, let's say, up to 6 programs, maybe you could be offered a study place in 2 different programs, and then you, the applicant, can choose which place to accept. But only one place can be accepted. That's regulated in the Finnish law, actually. And the question about the double majors, we do not offer double degrees, but we have a lot of flexibility in our degree structure that allows students to have minor subjects or minor instruments, and that way the degree can include a lot of things. And it's also possible to do multiple degrees, but then you have to do it one at a time.
Yes, thank you. So let's go to the next question. Our Dean Emilie touched on this a little bit, but maybe you can elaborate. What are the costs of studying at the Sibelius Academy, and are there any scholarship opportunities?
Yes, the tuition fee is something that we charge for students who study in English, and only for those students who are from outside the European Union or European Economic Area. And the tuition fee for those students is 500 euros for each year. However, we offer tuition fee waivers for new students and for all students as well. For new students, it's automatically 50% of the first year tuition fee, so new students pay 2,500 euros. And after the first year, the tuition fee can be something between 0 and 100%, and this depends on how your studies go during the previous year. And our tuition fee waivers do not cover any living costs, they are only for the tuition fee waivers. And also we have a new scholarship opportunity available for applicants who are required to pay tuition fees and apply to the master's programs. And for those students who get admitted, there's a possibility to obtain a scholarship of 10,000 euros, of which half is for the first year tuition fee.
Okay, thank you. So, student housing is always an interesting question. So the next question is about that. And could you maybe, Antti, tell us a little bit about student housing in Helsinki?
Yeah, sure. Most of the student housing in Helsinki is from a foundation that's for the student housing, and this foundation has almost places for almost 19,000 students. And also Sibelius Academy has its own hall of residence for students, and that place has for about 100 students.
Yes, thank you. So the next question is about degrees. So can you complete your degree in a shorter time frame than the standard 5.5 years for the bachelor's and master's combined, or the 2.5 years for master's only? And is it possible to complete the whole degree via remote connection?
I would say it's possible to complete your degree faster, but it's not that common. So most students actually do their degree in the regulated degree completion time. That is just like you said, 5.5 years for bachelor's and master's, and then 2.5 for only master's. And at the moment we do not unfortunately offer any online studies, although I'd say that due to the pandemic there's a lot more online tuition, but we hope to have all of these students here in the Sibelius Academy and have the community, and that's not so easy to have if everyone is online.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, we have a question from the audience. Does Sibelius Academy offer the visa if an applicant is invited to the second stage of the entrance examination?
The visas must be obtained from the Finnish immigration authorities. So we don't offer the visa, but we offer an invitation to the entrance examination that the applicant needs to obtain the visa.
Yes, okay, thank you. So another frequently asked question is if we offer opportunities to come and meet any teachers at the Sibelius Academy.
Okay, if an applicant or any person wants to know how is teaching at the Sibelius Academy, what I would recommend is to maybe join a summer academy class. We'll have a video of the summer academy after this session, and also we have an open university where you can see how our courses are, and also if anyone wants to see how our facilities are open during the week for everyone, so everyone can just come in and see how it is over here. Unfortunately, the classrooms will be closed, and we don't offer besides this admissions chat and open doors event.
Yes, thank you. So that completes our question portion of this third part of our chat. But then the next slide is where you can see the email address where you can send your questions if they weren't answered in this admissions chat.
We'll happily answer whatever you wish to ask. At the moment we have a lot of unanswered messages, but we'll try to deal with them as soon as possible. So if you have sent any questions to us, we'll answer them as soon as we can.
Yeah, so you can continue the discussion there. So on my behalf, I would like to thank you all for joining this chat.
Yeah, also thank you from my behalf, and I'll hope to see your applications in January.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. And now it's time for the video.
Beautiful D. Open up. Now, how can we get that note a bit more alive? Without projecting too forcefully somehow.
Okay, I don't want to kill your lips, so let's talk now a little bit before we play the whole thing through. I think that we have to make sure not to have the breathing disturb the melody line, or to, in other words, to cut the note before the breath too short.
Good. Now,
Chopin writes pauses in such places, it often means that you can lift your hand and take a little time. It's like a phrasing, sign for phrasing as well as literally for separation. Yes.